Today, we'll just take an overview of what General Paints did over the last number of years with regard to sustainability. I'll also give you a little background as to who we are, where we are, etc. So, excellent, Jeff. So, moving quickly along, General Paints was founded in 1953. It's a fully Irish-owned company. It's the largest independent paint manufacturer in Ireland, and we regard ourselves as innovative, technically superior, and we produce high-performance paints. Just a few interesting projects that we were involved in recently. The Halfpenny Bridge, obviously an iconic bridge here in Dublin. The Palm House in the Botanic Gardens, and we've supplied a lot of coatings for roof tiles, for light standards, etc. So we're kind of involved right across the industrial stroke retail side of the business. I suppose when you think about sustainability, you kind of wonder, you know, what's this all about? So we probably look at it, top quality environmentally advanced paints contain low or no VOC levels. In response to recent regulations limiting the amount of VOCs, top quality environmentally advanced paints have been introduced with increasingly lower levels of VOC, yet with the durability, beauty, performance of traditional coatings. I think a statement that comes to mind with regard to sustainability is, if it's not durable, it's not sustainable. So it's very important from a paint manufacturing point of view that the products that we produce are durable. If we look at the industry drivers for sustainability, basically customer and consumer specific needs. Over the last number of years, consumers and customers don't want the smell of organic solvents. Hospitals, hotels want to turn around their premises, want to get their jobs done much faster. And again, they don't want the latent smell of organic solvents in rooms. We developed a coating for a hospital in the Cork area where the painters go in at 10 a.m., they paint the room, and the patient comes back in at 8 a.m. that evening. The same applies for hotels, etc. So there's quite a lot of drivers with regard to sustainability. The particular product that we use there is probably one of our most sustainable products in that it contains no VOC, and it's basically a linseed-oil alkyd thinned with water as distinct from thinned with white spirits. So it's an excellent product. I suppose the other area that's driving it is voluntary initiatives by companies with a strong environmental ethos. We've been around for, I suppose, 60-odd years now, so we have a responsibility to the environment that is around us. And I suppose really we also have a huge responsibility to ensure that the next generation that comes into General Paints will continue in the same fashion. And we see sustainability as probably one of the main drivers of innovation in our organization. The other area, or the other driver, is companies supplying raw materials to coating manufacturers. I mean, you have the big five, Bayer, Hoist, quite a lot of large multinationals who are focused purely on supplying renewable or bio-based resins for the coating industry. Quite a lot of research and development, in the same way as we're driven by we'll call it the green agenda or the sustainability idea, they're also driven. And an awful lot of their R&D money is now being spent in that particular area. I suppose you want, what are Colotrend's sustainability initiatives over the last number of years? In 2006, we introduced water-based alkyds. What's a water-based alkyd? Basically, we have taken a linseed oil alkyd that was previously thinned with water, and now we thin it with, previously thinned with a hydrocarbon solvent, white spirits, and now we thin it with water. Now, obviously, that has a huge impact from a health and safety point of view, quick drying, etc. So this particular product, introduced in 2006, has been for the last, I suppose now 8 years, our fastest growing product. Yet, if you ask a painter, does he like using the new water-based products, he may say not. But when you confuse him and say, well, okay, what we have here is a linseed oil, thinned with water, what do you think now? So there's lots of things happening in this particular area that are very interesting. So we also do quite a lot in water thinnable wood coatings. Quite a lot of VOCs in this country are, a lot of wood finishes are probably one of the bigger areas because of their low solid contents, particularly from an industrial perspective. So all our focus really in general paints is to eliminate hydrocarbon solvents. From a legislative point of view, testing conformity to EN 13300 Class 1 for all our interior paints for walls. Basically, this gives the product a performance credibility that quite a few other products don't have in the market. So when you use a Colotrend product, you can be absolutely assured that it performs to the highest level under current standards. I suppose our biggest contribution was the phasing out of all products containing hydrocarbon solvents in 2008. This was a huge decision for us because quite a lot of the companies currently supplying paint products are still using products based thinned with white spirits. But I think from an environmental aspect, it was our biggest contribution. Sorry. If we take a look at the features and benefits of our water thinnable alkyds, sorry, excuse me. I'm much more comfortable walking around, so please excuse me. So basically, 100% alkyd resin looks and feels like a traditional oil-based paint, but without the smell. Excellent flow and leveling properties when applied by a brush. Excellent colour and sheen retention. Water thinnable, obviously. Quick drying, low odour during application and drying. Clean up quickly and easily with soapy water. Kinder for the environment and better for the painter. I think the other driver with regard to sustainability here is the health and safety in the workplace. You've got a situation where quite a lot of painters have been exposed to VOCs and high VOCs for quite a long period. There is virtually no VOC in this particular product. It's suitable for both interior and exterior use. Superior block resistance. Does anyone here know what block resistance is? Basically, when two painted surfaces come together, they are inclined to stick in the early drying phase. So this particular product dries pretty fast, so you don't have that particular situation happening to you. Obviously, versatile, can be applied over oil or water-based coatings, and an excellent product. With regard to EN 13300, what sort of benefits does that bring to the specifier? From a durability point of view, exceptional. So without durability, you don't have sustainability. So if we look here on the right-hand side, we have Colotrend. On the left-hand side, we have an ordinary paint. The big aspect, I suppose, of this particular slide is it shows adhesion. Basically, adhesion is one of the key components of paint. If it doesn't stick, it falls off the wall, so it's got to stick. Also, where is this important? If you think about hotels, if you think about hospital rooms, there's little point, and people are inclined to use tape, tack, blue tack, etc. on walls. And if they put it on it and the adhesion isn't good to the actual surface, it will peel off. So you need adhesion. A peeling paint film will never perform up to its fullness. I suppose if you look at Colotrend acrylic paints have a remarkable resistance to many stains and bacterial and mold growth. Here's an example of a stain. On the right side, Colotrend, we've washed it off obviously. On the left side, a fail. Why do some paints stain more? Obviously, some paints are a bit like blotting paper. If there's not enough resin in there, they'll be inclined to absorb stains, smells, etc. much greater. So the Colotrend will give a much more durable, lasting finish that's resistant to staining, etc. The scrub test, just run it on here. Basically, a scrub test is a test that we do on all our paints, and basically it checks the durability. It checks the actual cohesion of the paint. In other words, the ability of the paint to hold itself together when it's scrubbed or washed. So we will check that regularly against our competitors. And as you can see here, we have competitor A, competitor B, competitor C. So we'll know exactly how we're measured in the market. So if you take competitor A, it failed after 100 scrubs. Competitor B fails after 150 scrubs. And competitor C fails after 500 scrubs. Colotrend, I think, fails after about 5,000 scrubs. So, yeah, got it there. Begins to fail after 5,000 scrubs. So it gives you an idea as to how durable that film is. And when you guys are specifying, you need the durability. You need durability of paint. You need to be able to hand over your building and ensure that this paint is going to perform for you. When specifying paint, we suggest that you specify a paint that conforms to Class 1, Section 5 and Section 5.4 of EN 13300. That is a premium specification, and to be honest, it gives you the comfort of knowing that the product you specify, whether it's a Colotrend paint or a competitor's paint, is going to perform for you. So I would recommend that from now on, have a look at the code and Class 1 in Section 5.5 and 5.4 of EN 13300. What does it mean? Basically, it gives you a measurement of gloss, be it matte or gloss. It gives you an idea of how fine the paint is, the grain size of the paint, for smoother finishes. It also gives you a coverage, the contrast ratio. It tells you what that paint will cover out, totally cover on a square meterage basis. And it will give you what they call its wet scrub resistance. So literally you have a measure of that performance for your walls. So I have quickly came to the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be delighted to take them. And thank you.